In the following video, your eyelids will tremble, your heart will race, and your mind may never be the same. Brace yourself for static, shadows, and whispers that crawl beneath your skin. Today we venture into the darkest recesses of media. 10 analog horror tapes that are too disturbing to watch at night. The Walton Files. Let's kick things off with the Walton Files, a chilling entry in the analog horror genre created by Martin Walls. Established in 2017, this channel-based creepypasta-ish series draws you in with lost VHS tape aesthetics, often presented as promotional or technical training videos from a fictional company called Bond's Burgers. Immediately, you pick up on the uncanny valley of animatronic characters, Bond, Buzu, and the rest who look cheerful yet grotesquely hollow. This series' narrative unfolds non-linearly, through sinister glitches, unsettling timestamps, and subtle voice distortions, and each tape drips with dread. By 2022, it's already had a sizable fan base decoding its cryptic symbolism that may have occurred on site, and a mysterious figure named Jack Walton that vanishes under suspicious circumstances. The real terror isn't in jump scares, but in how the familiar, such as children's mascots, corporate marketing, and training videos, twist into something deeply unnerving. If viewers find themselves unable to look away, yet afraid to press play again, that's the Walton Files doing its thing. Channels like Deep Dive and Nexpo have covered its lore extensively, and the creator occasionally releases new episodes or puzzle pieces between 2024 and 2025. I highly recommend looking this up if you're into analog horror. Local 58. Now imagine flipping on the local public access channel at 3 a.m. and instead of some boring city meeting, you're confronted with distorted announcements or a preacher's message in glitchy, deformed visuals. That's Local 58, a series created by Chris Straub between 2015 and 2020, embodying analog horror through twisted media and terrifying plausibility. One video called Contingency warns that something's coming, while another, Weather Service, manipulates a routine NOAA-style alert into something far more threatening. Rain doesn't just fall here, it devours. The effects are subtle. Poor analog clarity, pause and rewind artifacts, static masks that flicker across the screen, etc. It's the plausibility that gets you. A public access station turned hostile, informing you that everything you trust, safety, weather alerts, guidance, may be lying to you. As of 2023 to 2024, it remains a staple in analog horror playbacks, often lauded by digital sleuth communities dissecting time logs, Morse patterns, and countdown clocks hidden in each episode. Gemini Home Entertainment. Let's talk about Gemini Home Entertainment, another analog horror series that tricks you into watching what looks like nature documentaries on a grainy VHS. Created by Remy Abode, credited as Remy, this 2019 to 2021 series starts innocently enough: fox cub behavior, wildlife footage over peaceful narration, etc. Then the pangolins morph, carefree geese become hunted silhouettes, and your narrator's voice quivers as the camera pans to something unnatural. Remnants of footage taken from local archives describes in faux scientific monotone standard, these tapes start feeling like something's wrong with nature itself. In 2020, the episode Nature's Revenge flirts with ecological horror, a corporate entity that's poisoning streams, and foliage splits open like living wounds. Amateur investigators have traced name tags and credits to real environmental NGOs, further blurring the line between documentary and nightmare. In early 2024, a follow-up special release dropped, and anxious fans noticed adding distortions and frames implying mutation. Gemini Home Entertainment haunts because it turns beauty into threat and innocence into rot. Dark Harvest. This one's fresh. Dark Harvest, which emerged in 2023, nearly blindsided the analog horror scene. You find raw handheld footage from a rural town, maybe the Midwest. Locals talk in hushed tones about a harvest festival gone catastrophically wrong, exotic vegetables dangling from corn stalks, and other things, tendrils creeping out of gourds, whispering voices during the scarecrow parade, etc. It looks homemade, as if someone found a camcorder in a field decades ago, grainy and sweaty with anxiety baked into every creasing recording. "Look at this," a trembling voice whispers. "There's something wrong with the stalks." Then shadows move in periphery, a choked scream, and static. This fresh approach plays on folk horror and analog authenticity, like a town that no longer exists, erased under crop mutations. If you're watching it in the dark, that stillness isn't comforting. It feels like those tendrils might come through the screen. Even in 2024 to 2025, Dark Harvest remains whispered about in niche Reddit circles as that one tape that got too real too fast. The Backrooms. This one riffs off the online creepypasta of The Backrooms, an endless maze of yellow buzzing fluorescent tinged hallways. Around 2020 to 2022, several analog horror creators started crafting lost documentary footage of people trapped inside this uncanny space. Channelers like Unit Number 110 released tapes labeled Backrooms Exfiltration, complete with shaky night vision, persistent hum of fluorescent lights, and disembodied footsteps trailing close behind you. You sense a watcher just out of frame, and what's truly disturbing is a total lack of relief. No exit, no safe zone. In one tape, a camera hands itself to whomever can use it to escape, and then silence. By 2024, one creator released a version with a ticker counting days trapped 37, and additional static that solidified the entrapment. It's not just fear of what's there, it's the outright hopelessness of being lost in an endless architectural prison. DOS Waves. Here's one that merges old computer aesthetics with analog horror. DOS Waves, a series of corrupted VHS-style videos that appears to be screen captures or lost footage from vintage operating systems, circa DOS-era PCs. Created by an anonymous uploader as early as 2021, these tapes begin with cheerful system boot prompts such as C, welcome to DOS Waves, etc. Over time, syntax errors morph into phrases like, they are watching you, followed by pixelated faces flickering in green phosphor. The longer you watch, the more the visuals warp. Lines of code become unreadable glitched poetry, machine whirs gets replaced with low static growls, and timestamps jump back in time, sometimes right before a forced shutdown or worse. The sense you get is of an ancient system becoming sentient or infected. In 2023, a popular playthrough revealed hidden commands typed at ultra-fast speed, indicating ramblings about the archive and failed experiments. It's alias to the fear of technology you can't control. Watching it deep at night, it reads like digital eldritch, ancient computers coming for you. No Through Road. This one's older, but don't let the age fool you. No Through Road is analog horror realness. Created by Stephen Chamberlain starting in 2009, this series follows teens stuck on a rural no-through road that loops back endlessly. Shot handheld in night vision, the disorientation is very real. One moment they're driving, and the next, the same intersection appears, but with something lurking just behind the trees. Distorted lamppost voices, unnatural hums, etc. happen. In the 2011 episodes, the boys encounter figures wearing old gas masks in the woods. Then the road changes. Signs repeat, street markings fade and reboot. You start wondering, are they trapped in time or a memory loop of the road itself? By 2020, when the final installment floated out, fans were piecing together maps of the road's loops and matching GPS patterns like actual missing persons cases. It works full throttle as analog horror because the feel is so grounded. You know the road, you know the woods, but then those basics twist into something inhuman. An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. This is less well known but chilling in how it reimagines classic literature through analog horror. In 2024, a series of fan analog tapes surfaced online, supposedly inspired by Ambrose Bierce's An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. These tapes present a 1960s-style educational reel about Civil War battles, narrated with some soothing mid-century serious tones, but intercut with brief, grainy recreations of a man plunging from a bridge, with his body breaking through water in slow motion, then cut to static. The narrator calmly says time, perception, can betray. Later, voices whisper in reverse during title cards, he never escaped. It plays with temporality. Everything you think you know about the story, maybe you misremember, and neither did the person who made the tape. These surfaced in mid-2024, and within days, academic-style analysis pooled around it, and replicate confusion abounded, slowing your heartbeats while feeding dissonance. It's haunting because it warps a short, poignant story into a loop of dread and regret. The Mandela Catalog. Okay, we've got to talk about the Mandela Catalog. It launched in 2021, created by Alex Kister. You're watching VHS-style family videos, or that's what they look like. Then, figures in the background suddenly warp and stare at the camera with blank, cracked faces. The narrative revolves around the alternates, otherworldly beings that mimic real people but with warped features and ominous intent. Episodes like Episode 1, The Client, feature disturbing alternate encounters in therapy sessions combined with flicker frames that feel like subliminal suggestions. The sense of invasion that even the people you might trust look back with hollow smiles gives the dread that almost PTSD-like realness. By 2023, its visuals and the term Mandelayan had become shorthand in horror communities for uncanny intruders and trust broken at cellular levels. In 2025, new episodes continue to drop, and the complexity of the lore deepens, making the fear not just about what's on screen, but who might be watching you after the video ends. Marble Hornets. And finally, the big one, Marble Hornets. This is where a lot of analog horror fandom began. Created by Trey Jones and Joseph Delage, first released in 2009, it was shot as found footage from a film student's undone thesis, and the story revolves around the Slender Man mythos, though without naming him directly. Videos feature footage of Jay finding tapes left by his friend Alex, footage of odd encounters, figures in the tree line, static buzzing, and whispers. One of the most iconic elements, the operator presence, lurking just off frame, has slow zooms and uncanny movement. The slow creeping dread, paired with mundane settings such as your friend's abandoned house or forested trails, infected the internet with analog horror fever. The series ended around 2014, but fans kept the lore alive. Then in 2024, an official anniversary release dropped, the new Lost Tapes with further glimpses of the operator and a doc-style breakdown of how the tapes were recovered. That new content brought fans and newcomers alike back to the breathless, sleepless nights. Marble Hornets remains at the top because it birthed the genre's language, the whisper spark, the found footage dread, the what if it's real panic, and the fear that even a channel of cute horror can scratch at your mind when the lights go out. Alright, if that didn't keep you up, I don't know what will. But be sure to leave a comment, let me know what you thought about this, and of course drop a like and subscribe because you won't want to miss the next video. Thanks again for watching.